Welcome everyone to 2017 blade&soul World Championships. We're here on day 2 of our broadcast. We're here for the part 2 after you guys, along with us, had some extended break to get back into form. Now we are on the second half. We're going to be looking at the second place matches for today. My name is Joe Sophia. Along with me is Ending Life. We're here once again to bring you guys action as always. We'll be doing this for the first 3 days with the group stage, then move on to the quarters, then to the semis, and the grand finals happening next Friday. So we'll both be bringing you the entire action from day 1 until the very last day.
So today is the second day. Tomorrow will be the last day of the group stages, as Joe mentioned. So since today's the second day, so we already started the group best out of 7s. If you guys noticed, we got rid of the best out of 4 after the first day, and we talked about how glad we were that we get to allow the teams to play the long games, and even if they lose 1 or 2 matches, they could pick themselves back up, and we strategize into trying to come back even if they are losing.
Sometimes that's what we were hoping for, but some of the teams really lost their mentality after losing a few matches in the best of 7 and couldn't pick it back up as we had hoped as the casters here, but didn't work out as planned, and we saw a clean sweep. We saw very close to clean sweeps throughout this best of 7s. So hopefully we'll get a lot more closer matches with that break that we had. But back with the matches today, we're going to have 4 matches, best of 7 once again, to decide the second place of each group. A, B, and C, D will be up. Tourists and Thankyou9527, they will be the first teams to go up. China versus Taiwan. Tourists could not beat the other Taiwanese team. And they couldn't really get themselves in that first place spot in Group B. They just trying to get to at least the second spot, but they have to beat Thankyou to really get there.
Yep, and if you guys remember yesterday's matches, Tourist and Thankyou9527, they are 2 teams that both lost to Pengandi, the other Taiwanese team that is first place in Group A. So they have both experienced the loss from the same team. So, whoever wins this match and places second is actually the actual second team, because they both have lost to the first group team.
Sure, yeah,
so,
you can definitely do that.
like, for example, like the next matchup after Tourist and Thankyou, Guardian versus Noonsang Fan Club, they actually lost to a different set of teams, if you guys remember.
Right.
So, the skill levels may be kind of difficult to calculate for the second matchup, but like I just talked about the first matchup, they both lost to the first place team of the same group. So, whoever places second, whoever wins this match is the actual second place and, worthy of going or having the chance to go into the quarterfinals.
That's very true. And Guardian, Noonsang Fan Club, you'll see them later on in the match. Speaking of Guardian, the North America and the Europeans definitely will be presented in the second place match. You'll see 3 teams, with 1 team having already made it to the quarterfinals. You're going to see the other 3 NA and EU teams be facing it off to decide that second place placement for the quarterfinals, because they just need to win more matches to have a better chance of making it to the next round. But so far so good. You just need to win just a few more. Hang in there, and we'll get to you those matches, each and every one of them.
Yep, and Taurus definitely, I gotta say, we talked about how, Taurus versus Thankyou, or just China versus Taiwan, is a big deal for them regarding pride for their country.
Definitely.
And Taurus losing to Pengandi already once.
7-1.
Yeah, they do not want to lose to Thankyou, because they will be losing to a Taiwanese team twice in a row, back to back on the same day, and that will definitely shatter their pride as Chinese pro players that came all the way to Korea to compete.
And really, as you see on the screen there, it's also representing China, but Wang Shini, she is representing the female population of blade&soul gamers. She's going to be the only female player left remaining in Worlds 2017. She was one of the 2 participants who were of a female player, and now she's still left in this, just trying to fight for that second spot along with her teammates. They have to beat out the Taiwanese team, as you mentioned here. There you go. Thankyou9527 is the other team that they're going to be facing. These 3 players very much ready, because despite that loss from yesterday, and really pick it back up, they did win out that 1 match in the losers match to get here. So while Tourists have won their first game in day 1 and lost today's earlier match, they're definitely fresh off their heels. Thankyou9527 will be here for the first time today, whereas tourists have already played a game earlier parts of the day. So a little bit of fatigue. I hope they get a good rest.
Yep.
They're going to have to get ready to face another match to get this second place spot.
Yeah, and it seems like from the side of Thankyou, we won't be getting any surprise picks because they only have one class register per person.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Taurus, they did have, you know, a couple of classes registered, even though throughout this tournament, World Champions, starting from yesterday, we didn't see too many, well, we didn't see any swaps at all from Taurus, but they do have the other classes registered. So, you know, you never know. And on screen now, we do have the first set matchup, Destroyer versus Blade Master.
I just say, even though Thankyou9527 has one class registered and Tourist has so many in contrary, but as you've been saying, Andy, they've been sticking to those one classes like you see on the first match. Li Ziyang, as you see on the screen, he's staying with the Destroyer for most of the time. Zhang Wensheng, the Force Master, he hasn't been playing any other classes other than that. Wan Shini, the female player, she's been on that Summoner since day one, sticking to it. So we're might be able to see some utility changes, but otherwise, we're probably going to expect them to see the exact same thing. So gonna be getting ready to go to the game one. I think we'll be ready very, very soon. There we go, the music has changed. We're gonna go on to the game one between Taurus, Thankyou9527, China versus Taiwan. Match one will come right your way. Let's get on. It's gonna be the first match between Tourist and Thankyou9527, Li Ziyang on the Destroyer versus Zhang Yaowei from Taiwan, playing that Blade Master.
And if you notice, the Destroyer brought out the Fury build, and throughout this world, the Fury build hasn't been working out for any of the Destroyers lately, so we'll see if this Destroyer is able to make it work.
It's true. I mean, we've seen the Fury build, kind of a choice that the Destroyers have made when it comes to a little bit of desperation efforts. Sometimes you want a quick win with that Destroyer, but you end up getting the quick defeat onto yourself. So it's been happening many times. We saw the Fury build as a choice by many of the Destroyers throughout Worlds 2017, but as you say, 0% success rate.
Yeah, he just popped the Fury ahead of time, showing the Blade Master that, yeah, I'm on the Fury build, and he was unable to do anything with it.
Well, now that we know on the screen that his Fury build is up, Yaowei does also now a little assumption that the Fury build is up in the air, so I have to change up the strategy a little bit to go a little bit aggressive himself to finish him off while he has the opportunity. Now he sees the HP bar dropping a little bit faster with that Fury build. Yaowei realizing this, he's gonna have to go a little bit quicker, destroy him off much faster than what he was expecting.
Ember Stomp is down and Gust was used. Fury will be coming back in 2 seconds, but you know, the Destroyer wants to play it safe. He wants to go in when he has the Gust. But here we go with the Typhoon.
Go, spins around. Doesn't proc the Fury quite yet. He does it
go.
now. So he's gonna go for it now. It's do or die.
Yeah, he does get some damage dealing done. And the escape is out from the Blade Master, and he will get his Gust back. Yeah. So even though the Fury ran out once again, the Destroyer might want to make his move.
Still very strong without actually proccing the Fury. You got the base stats, which is still very strong, but Yaowei is not going to allow any of that. Puts him into the send for the secondary. Gets him in to
the Gust.
Finishing strike. Might be there, but like I say, Gust to get out of there. So tap escape is available.
He puts down the Ember Stomp inside the Searing Slash. I have no idea why he did that, but okay. 40 seconds left until the match, and the Fury is back. This is the first time ever seeing Fury proc 3 times.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's get it done now, because if it goes to the TKO, he'll probably lose out in the damage charge.
All right, he's just going with the Typhoon.
Yaowei looks very comfortable in this situation. He knows exactly how to handle this. Just get that Fury out back with a cooldown. There you go. Just a Dragon Tongue might have finished it off.
Gust is used right away.
But it just seemed like, just overall, even if it does go to TKO, it seems like Yaowei on the Blade Master will pick up the victory.
Oh, that
damage dealt.
That Dink, he might want to... Oh, the Destroyer, yes! This is what I'm talking about! That Dink is going to win it the game!
Second,
the
1
reflect.
second. Now, this is very interesting now.
Ooh.
The healing could have come from Xiang naturally. Off of that, just the base stats we know of the Destroyer, but now it's very close. We don't know anymore. And it's still gonna be Yahweh taking the victory there.
Very little damage difference.
It was, and
40,000.
Taiwanese team, Thankyou9527 will get the first point, and the Fury build still 0% succession rate.
Yeah.
Gonna have to tell the other, gonna have to tell the other destroyers around Worlds 2017 to stop using the Fury build. It doesn't get you wins.
Yeah, 0% win rate, and he was even able to proc it 3 times. During the Korea finals, I mean, during the Korea tournaments, and overall, when I used to always say, if a Korean destroyer is able to proc the Fury twice, you would automatically win, and that was usually what happened. But here, this time around, this destroyer got to proc it 3 times, and he was unable to win. So something about this Fury build in this Worlds is, not quite right for the destroyers.
I mean, Li Xiang had 3 opportunities to get it right, but third times wasn't the charm for this guy.
Yeah.
He almost got enough damage, but
that was close.
He got him into the air, which wasted 1 second of that. So could have just gone and continued on with that.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He should have just continued on with it instead of wasting time with that
Definitely
airborne
much quicker damage output than getting up in the air. That animation does take a long time to complete, so Xiang really went for the conventional way of trying to finish his opponent off, but probably was counting on his own chances of getting that high % on that damage chart, but didn't happen that time around. Tourist is 1-0 down. And he's Zhang Wencheng back on the Force Master. Like we said, he's not going to be flexing that much. He's going to stick with the Force Master, even though he has all those classes registered. That's Dong Chan. For Taiwan, he's going to be on the Destroyer this time. Whether he'll bring out the Fury build is going to be a question, but it does seem like Taiwan, they're really not fond of the Fury build as we've observed from the 2 teams that we've seen so far. So
now I don't even know.
My bet is that he's not going to bring out the Fury build. He learned, at least from the game 1, that it doesn't work out as effectively as people might think. So in this World 2017, specifically, you probably shouldn't go with the Fury build. You can use it back home. You go back to your home region. That'll be fine.
But it hasn't been working out in Worlds, and now we do have, for our second match, Force Master versus Destroyer, and just since we've been casting the Korean scene for a long time, and in the Korean scene, if we see a Force Master versus Destroyer, Force Master usually just needs to keep his distance and he gets an easy win. Let's see what happens.
Let's go to game 2 between Tourist and Thankyou9527 will be up. Currently, the Taiwanese team is up 1-0. We're going to extend it over to 2-0. We're going to find out. Let's get it on. Here we go for the second match. Zhang Wencheng, the Force Master for the side of Tourist. Versus Dong Shan. Throw him as the Destroyer for the side of Thankyou9527. Gonna be up to play. The Destroyer lost last time around, mainly due to that Fury build.
Alright, that was good with the back roll chase by the Destroyer, forcing that second win out from that Force Master.
Hey, but you know what? The key to winning is not to go with the Fury build, and you'll win every time.
Yeah, it seems like he actually got a good chase, but he's getting hurt.
Actually continuing on with the damage now onto the Force Master. Trying to freeze himself though. Dong Chan decided not to go with the Fury build. Freeze himself once again.
Oh, another stun. You got him, but he's getting him.
Only if you're just gonna throw him up in the air. He doesn't.
Alright, pulls him in. He's gonna do some damage.
Okay, there he goes. Starting the damage now, Dong Shan.
Oh, alright, second wind used again for the second time.
Okay,
and
now the Force Master is poking him out for range. Now he does use the Tab Escape. Dust is gone.
Alright, this is his chance. No escape for the Destroyer whatsoever. And if he continues to get hit, this is it.
Okay, the Meteor is coming through. Will this be enough? The Firewall in plus with the Meteor might be good enough to finish him off. There you go. One Ice Burst. Once again, Frostpalm is good enough to finish off his opponent. And Tourist from China, they haven't tasted victory almost at all throughout day 2. And now they get a little bit of glimpse of that. And Zhang Wencheng, this guy has been the more dependable player for the side of Tours since day 1, and he gets a team another victory. Now they're even at 1-1.
Yep, at the end, that was actually a pretty nice-looking finish with the meteor and the blazing wall, and then Phantom gripping him on top of that fire, burning him to death. Yeah, we don't really see that kind of move from Jung Ho-yoon. We don't see the blazing wall meteor and then Phantom gripping, but you know, every region has their own style and the way they wanna, you know, play out the game. And look at that.
That's fiery right there.
That is fire. That's fire.
That's a lot of fire.
But anyways, yeah, good. You know, good win for Tourist. Now we will be moving on to tag match.
There you go, game 3. It's going to be an advancement from the singles that we just played. Game 3 will be involving all 3 players from both sides. Once again, Tourist. One thing that I did notice about Tourist is that their singles were alright for the most part, and the tag has been seeing a little bit of miscommunication with their teammates, and just they seem to die out at weird moments, really unexpectedly. So maybe if they get things straight and get that figured out, maybe they have a better performance this time around. But you see all 6 players that will be participating in this tag match 3v3. It'll be interesting to see whether Tourists kind of catching on with that momentum and really pick up 2 more points. Add to the scoreboard, which will be really nice for these guys.
Exactly, and like we always say, this first tag match kind of determines which team will start off their engines and, you know, carry it on to their 4th and 5th singles. And you know, usually, most of the time, the team that wins this tag kind of gets that, you know, positivity and wins. You know, most likely wins the 4th single match and, you know, makes that gap even bigger.
It really does add to the mentality toll when you lose out in your first tag game 3, is that just suddenly you work so hard to get those 1 point each when you were working for the singles, but when you do lose out on those 2 points in an instant after a tag match, it does take a lot of toll on you, and you have to jump back mentally, get your team back in the game. But we've seen teams really just fall apart after losing game 3 and just losing more scores right after. So it's important for Tourists and Thankyou9527, both sides, to really, no matter the result, to really keep the right mindset right after, keep their series going.
Yeah, and for those of you who are joining our, you know, second half of today a little bit late, all the matches starting now, including this one, the loser of this, all these matches that are coming up, the loser will be eliminated from the World Championship. So, you know, they want to fight as hard as they can.
There's not many chances available. The loser of this series will be eliminated from today. So, both teams working hard. Tourist and Thankyou9527 will be on to their game 3. The match, straight on. Here we go for game 3. This is Lee Xiang on the Destroyer for Tourist. It's the summoner that we've been forgetting about. Wu Yanbin for the side of Thankyou9527. This is the Taiwanese summoner. Haven't seen since day 1, so seen once again.
So we do see the Destroyer and the Summoner on both teams, and the only difference is the Force Master and the Blade Master, which, let's see which side has prepared their composition for the, you know, opposition, and see how they make it work.
And seeing how similar that is ending, really, we want to talk about how the 2 differences in the only class that really differs between the 2 teams, the Force Master and the Blade Master, how that makes a difference in the dynamics of how they control their team styles. It's going to be important to see here.
Yeah, they're both masters. Let's see which master is better.
I mean, they only call themselves a master. I mean, how masterful they actually are, we have to see.
Yep, there we go. The 2 Destroyers are going all at it. They're both out of gust.
Okay, Sudong Shan, as soon as he comes in, does get beat down by Lee Xiang. Zhangwen Cheng comes in, tags in kind of suddenly. Didn't expect that.
That was a early tag on both sides, though. The Summoner actually decided to tag out as well. So, you know, 2 early tag points used. We rarely get to see that. And, you know, they're almost at full health, too. So, just because they're out of their escape, they might have wanted to save that tag and use it interfere.
Sai Yawei tried to come in, interfere, but really to no use. He just, Zhangwen Cheng literally just froze himself. There's nothing much you can do in the time remaining you have on that interfere.
Alright, there's another tag point being used.
Second one for Tourist now, with 1 point being used by Zhangwen Cheng. Also Lee Xiang Coming back out into field once again.
Yep. I'm waiting for that.
Sidong Shan, I mean, this guy, he just got tagged in by Wu Yanbin, the summoner, not having played for so long before tagging out to his teammate right now. But Li Xiang, he really, really wants a win right here.
Yeah, he brought out the Fury build.
Oh, Li Xiang, yeah.
Well, not Li Xiang, we have Dongshan.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the red side. On Thankyou side, who brought... Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, Li Xiang did bring out the Fury build.
Did, yeah.
Yeah, it's confusing me. 2 destroyers, 2 spinners. But yeah, the Fury build is out, and he has Fury and Gust at the same time. He's gonna make his move, but he freezes himself.
Now, Li Xiang, last time he tried the Fury build, he lost the game, but obviously he didn't learn his lesson. That doesn't work out. Trying to make it work out, though. Yahweh does come in. Shy Yahweh is really the Blade Master. One of the few, but a lot more than we see in Korea, but still very much a minority when it comes to the entire population of blade&soul.
Yeah, and Li Xiang already used up both tag points, and it's only just past the 3-minute mark.
So it has to be a quick finish on either side to make this really count, because Yahweh, along with the side of Thankyou9527, they're starting to use their resources a little bit. They're saving it for now, but Wanshini actually makes her first appearance. I should do mention that Cat is constantly just harassing the side of Yahweh.
But the Blade Master is still hanging in there. Now he's going to start to have a hard time if he gets poked down by that Super Sunflower and the Cat.
Now the criticism has been that Wanshini, even though she was the only remaining female player, hasn't been performing to a significant amount that probably her teammate were expecting of her, but doing some good damage now. Onto Yahweh.
Doing some damage, like you
said. Reactionary 2v2 now. Summoner.
Double days.
Wanshini putting a lot of damage, but getting the healing back onto Yahweh though.
The Blade Master and the Summoner are still going at it, and the Blade Master decides to tag out first.
Wanshini doing a good job of really forcing that tag to happen, but she tags out also for Zhang Wensheng to be back on that Force Master.
Yeah, that was her first tag out, so you know it's okay, understandable for her to tag out. And there goes the blazing wall once again.
Yep, and Sudong Chan, the Destroyer, will be making his appearance once again. That Golden Fish.
Defensive interfere comes in.
It's gonna be Destroyer going back and forth at each other. Li Xiang tried to go for a little bit of damage.
Oh, the dink!
We did hear the dink.
Yeah, the Reflect is going at it from both of the Destroyers today.
Wu Yanbin once again really making that interfere into no use.
And the Summoner is back out.
Oh, Yahweh trying to deal some damage onto the Summoner now.
Yeah, the Summoner is taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, you have to be careful here.
And she already has healed up quite a bit.
Oh, this is bad. Onto the wall. She might start getting all that damage, but defensive effort does come out with that interfere.
Yeah, he is. Oh, this Thankyou Destroyer is able to endure.
Oh, another stun. Wanshini will she be out of here as the first person out for the team. There is no interfere. She has to tag out, which she does to a very healthy Zhang Wensheng. So very good play by there.
And she is actually the only one with 2 interfere points, but she's so low on health that
you don't want to come in.
Yeah, if she interferes wrong, there might be a death coming in from that interfere. So it's kind of not looking too great for Taurus. They're all out of everything except for that 2 interfere point that I just talked about.
Sudong Chan doing a good job of cutting out the damage from Wanshini, forcing her to tag out immediately. Forces out actually a tag from Thankyou side. You can bring Wu Yanbin, the Summoner from the Taiwanese side, back on the field. Force Master versus Summoner is the current matchup right now.
Yeah, and the Thankyou side actually looks very comfortable with a lot of resources compared to the Taurus side.
Definitely much more, but this is the wrong interrupt that we were talking about. This is where Wanshini came in at the wrong time and costed her life for basically no gain. So not the best interfere we've seen in a while.
Yeah, but you know, this actually happened quite a lot this time in Worlds. Like, you know, they wanted to help out and interfere in. We've seen that a lot in the Korea finals as well. And this actually is moving on, and it actually happened in Worlds.
There you go, the Cat trying to stun him out, and Zhang Wensheng.
The Cat.
The Cat really doing the heavy carry there, putting him with the stun. him on that damage potential coming from the summoner, and Bin finishes his job and tags out to Yahweh. And look for the finish onto the Destroyer. Like we said, Destroyer finishing a 1v3. Very unlikely, but
Lijiang is going to try his best because he's at full health still, you know, maybe there's hope.
And he doesn't even have the Fury build, so even the damage potential is not as there. We want it.
See, the thing is, if Thankyou side, maybe, you know, we're depleted out of all their tag and interfere points and the Destroyer were to do just 1v1v1s, like just one by one, maybe, just maybe it's possible. But, you know, with Thankyou having so much resource points still left over, it's going to be very hard for Lijiang to do a 1v3.
I really look at it there because Lijiang, every time he does go for an offensive effort, they can just interfere defensively, and even the Blade Master can do enough of a defensive effort to protect his teammate his own chance. So there's really no way for Lijiang to pull off a finish here. This is the kind of the maybe a little bit unfortunate of how Blade and Soul works in the tag, where sometimes there's just so little chance that we can expect some kind of a miracle to happen.
That was a good backstep out. Oh, persistence is proc. Typhoon.
Hey, but Suno-chan is not worried though. He has 2 tag points and you can use them anytime. So,
alright, pulls him in. That thing again.
Just stalling time at this moment, really. Nothing significant is happening towards the 2 destroyers. Iron plating once again.
The destroyer mirror is just going back and forth, and the health is not going down.
Because they're so tanky and do very little damage. Obviously a very slow-paced game in terms of damage charts going through, but
there we go with the offensive interfere. Actually did some damage.
When you get a little bit of interfere offensively, he got that one from Yahweh. An offensive effort to cut off some health from Lijiang. In the end, it's just going to be back and forth action, but all in all, 1 minute is going to be passing, so that 1 minute mark is going to indicate that everybody is going to get the interfere points back. Lijiang gets his, but obviously it doesn't matter when you don't have any teammates to interfere for. So Bin starting to take some damage off of Lijiang. Perhaps he needs to be a little more cautious. He does have the interfere options from his teammates, but just tries to finishing him off by himself. So single-handedly is what he's really wanting there.
The cat is annoying. This is what happens when you're versing a summoner as a destroyer. You better, if you're gonna grapple someone, you better have that Ember Stomp down.
And just the poking is enough to finish on Lijiang, and Tourist, they're down 2 points already. Now it's gonna be 3-1 in favor of Thankyou9527. So going towards game 4 now. We talked about that 2 points garnered in game 3 plays a big part. Best of 7s, and this team 2 points behind now. They have to keep their mentality up and try to go for an effort. Search them last minute. Superpower to really stay in this series. That's the thing they really need to do for Tourist.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like since neither side has a warlock or a solid or an assassin, the game, it just overall seems more slow-paced, even though it just seems like they're attacking at each other. Like, for example, the destroyers. The 2 destroyers are going super aggressive, if you notice, but it's just the health bars that are not going down because, you know, the lack of assassins or warlock these days is actually the reason why they're considered the meta.
And the constant damage dealing is the kind of the key word there, because when you have the summoner on both sides, they can deal so much damage. But it's only when the opportunity is given to you. But when the opportunity isn't there, I mean, there's not much damage going on either side. And it's an example of that. I mean, Wan Shini, she even got knocked up as the first person coming for that wrong interfere right there, as we see on that screen. But you don't even have a summoner, and you're left with a Force Master and a Destroyer. Damage output,
Maybe if it's not gonna be great. It's not gonna be great.
You thought for a second.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a way to make it work, but you know, it's not really gonna work.
I mean, at least they need a warlock or an assassin. That's the more reliable damage dealers. The output that can be more consistent than what a summoner can do with a burst damage that it really is depending on. So let's see set 4. Who's it gonna bring though? Oh, it's gonna be actually a summoner. Summoner mirror match.
Oh, summoner mirror.
When do we get to see this? I mean, I haven't seen it once. I haven't seen it once in my entire year of 2017 in Korea. So because there are two summoners that could face off with each other. So
Jung and Min Jung Ho, but they've never played summoner mirrors in singles because Yoon Jung's only been playing the Warlock.
Exactly. So Won Chun-hee, the last remaining female player, is going to be on the summoner with Woo Yan-bin, who's been doing the better summoner, to be fair, compared to the both sides. So he's going to be on the summoner as well. So it's going to be a summoner mirror match. 4 cats is going to be involved, with the 2 summoners being cats also, where Tourist and Thankyou9527 will be up in the summoner mirror match. Stay on. There we begin.
Yep.
Probably once in a lifetime opportunity to see a summoner mirror match. To get it here, Won Chun-hee, aside from Tourist, Woo Yan-bin
grasping roots.
Won Chun-hee takes the first deal of effort. Had to use the escape to get out of there, but she doesn't have it. If there's an additional threat coming in from Woo Yan-bin, it would be an end for Won Chun-hee there.
And she's taking more damage, and she's unable to do anything. And
oh my goodness. It's going to be over
so low already.
15 seconds left. I mean, she's healing up, but it's very minor when we're talking about the relative terms, but Woo Yan-bin.
Very straightforward. Yeah, very straightforward. There's nothing to talk about. It's just Thankyou's summoner just was able to get rid of the Taurus summoner's cat escape, and you know, after that, the cat is gonna start to annoy you, and the Super Sunflower with the ranged attack is gonna annoy you, and it's just Thankyou had the better edge after getting rid of the first escape.
I mean, like we've been talking about, right? You know, throughout this series, is that there you see on the screen Won Chun-hee. I mean, it's good of her that she did make World 2017 as one of the female players left available, but I mean, to be honest, she hasn't performed even one game where she made a significant contribution towards a victory for her team. But we thought we would get it at least one time before if she is eliminated by the end of today, that we would at least see it once. But
you almost assumed
another disappointment, really, from Won Chun-hee against the counterpart summoner we saw from Thankyou with Woo Yan-bin, who has been playing a lot more consistently throughout. So it'll be very important to see whether Woo Yan-bin, if he does make it to the next stages, whether he'll be able to continue this streak of reliving that summoner legendary status. We'll be finding out. But the next single, the last single of the series, actually, it's going to be happening very, very shortly. We're going to see who Woo Yan-bin is going to be making a re-entrance into the arena. It's going to be up against Zhang Chang, who did win out against his enemy destroyer.
Yeah, right now the current score is Thankyou has 4 points, Taurus has 1. If Taurus loses again to Thankyou, this will be, you know, if they lose out, it's gonna be 2 losses in a row to Taiwanese teams, and you know that's gonna get a scratch on their pride, and they don't want that. That's why they are sending out the Force Master, who is probably the most solid and stable player on this team yet.
Probably the most reliable player for the side of Tourist has been Zhang Chang on that Force Master, and be up against Woo Yan-bin on the Summoner, who has been on fire of being very consistent in the performance. Let's see whether Woo Yan-bin can do it again, get us to a 5-1 scoreline for Thankyou, and find out later on. Here we go, getting right away with the last single of the series before we do move on to the eventual Game 6. It will be happening. Zhang Chang on the Force Master, he has won a game. On the first single that he did face out against his enemy destroyer, Tudong Chan. He back up onto that Force
the cat
Master.
is on top of you, and that is never a good sign.
Zhang Chang really needs to get out of there, get away from the cat as much as you can. He does take the second win. It's still available if he wants to use it. Woo Yan-bin doing a good job of harassing his opponent. Just get him down. The double knockdown is happening,
Alright, he's gonna start with that impact.
Oh, Zhang Chang is showing definitely a different composure compared to Wanshini, former summoner who did lose out against Yanbin.
Yep.
So,
oh, it's not looking good. The summoner is out of escape, and same goes for the Force Master as well.
who makes the initial strike after this is going to be the crucial winner here. Yanbin does heal back for a little bit.
Oh, there we go. Back steps out, keeping his distance. They're both stunned. Pretty slow pace now because they're both out of escapes. They were playing it super cautiously now, but the cat doesn't care.
And it's fair to say that, you know, they want to take this carefully and make sure they don't make any mistakes. But Zhang Wensheng, crucial heal up from that mistaken strike onto the frozen part of the Force Master, which will be a heavy disadvantage over to Yanbin unless he can stick around for 1 minute and 30 seconds, in which he might get the victory off of the damage chart.
Alright, freezes him again, and the summoner is out of his escape once again.
Now this needs to be Zhang Wensheng. Now that he has his full health back, he needs to go in with aggression and try to finish Yanbin off before the timer runs out, because if it does go to TKO, there's a chance that Zhang Wensheng does lose out in terms of the damage. So he needs to go in aggressively with all the HP advantage that he does have over his opponent.
Alright, there we go with the aerial. Alright, this time around the Force Master is probably going to end up using...
Okay, another poke coming in for Zhang Wensheng.
Oh, very close.
Very close. 50 seconds is what he has to beat him up. The Meteor is just barely not going to finish him. So, second win being gone for Zhang Wensheng. Yanbin still has a back step available. So,
heals up a little bit.
this is very good for Yanbin. If he can just stick around for this, there's no way he's going to lose out on the damage chart. There's so much healing that has been done from Zhang Wensheng. So, in terms of damage, there's no way that Yanbin will fall behind. So.
Alright, Yanbin actually has a chance right now because, you know, the Force Master is out of both escapes, only has the retreat.
Still has to go for it though. Zhang Wensheng. Yeah, Zhang Wensheng, knowing his situation, he has to go for the kill here. Even the cat, he has to ignore it. Just go for the summoner in this last 13 seconds. He does have very little HP, so the only way to win is to kill off to Yanbin, but Yanbin heals back a little bit more. So 5 seconds is all he has left.
Oh, the cat gets the aerial!
And this will be the end.
Finish him off!
But it doesn't matter, even if it doesn't. He does finish him off. Just a KO conventionally. And doesn't really need the TKO to confirm his win. And Yanbin, a 5-1 scoreline now for Thankyou9527. He looks very, very confused because Zhang Wensheng, he would have had it in the bag with so much healing that was done. I think he should have just went in without fear and went in for the aggression and go for all the damage. And this is because just killing off Yanbin would have been the answer to his win.
Yeah, this matchup just now, this Summoner versus Force Master, I'm gonna have to say it was the cat carrying the Summoner, because the cat did so much work, obviously, you know, but the cat did so much work with that aerial at the crucial point at the end when there was literally maybe 4 to 5 seconds, and that gave that plus, that gave that oomph for that Summoner to finish that Force Master off.
Really, the cat, the heavy lifting, it's such a lightweight champion that it is. Really helping out.
Yeah, so look at this. 1 minute left and Summoner is so low on health because the Force Master has healed up so much.
Yeah. This is when Zhang Wensheng, he had 1 minute to finish that much HP off. So it wasn't a difficult task. If he just went in a little more aggression, I think he would have done it. But
the Summoner did heal up a little bit. But yeah, like you said, like it was very low.
So he should have done it, but I think. I mean, whether he done it or not, I think he should at least went in and made an effort to finish him up, but he didn't even do that. That was the problem I saw for Zhang Wensheng, and I think that if he looks back at the VOD and looks at the replay, I think he would hit himself in the back of the head, really. Just really thought differently if he had the chance to do it also again.
Yep, and now we are moving up to set 6, potentially the last matchup, unless a tourist from China takes this win away from Thankyou. It will be a 7-1 victory for Thankyou.
And right now, the only way tourists can win now is to win all the remaining 2 matches that it is available in this series. Winning in this match currently is 5-1. We'll get them into a 5-3 situation, and winning out set 7 will get them into a 6-5 victory. Which is exactly what they want, but really tough to do that when you're also behind in terms of scoreline. So we go on to set 6 probably very soon, and we do have the change in the music. We're going to go on to game 6 between Tourist and Thankyou9527 to see whether Thankyou from Taiwan will be able to finish up the Chinese team once again for a 2-0 Taiwan victory. Let's find out. Stay on. as you did mention, ending, it's about Taiwan versus China. That's being represented here in World 2017. Currently, Tourist has lost to a Chinese team, to a Taiwanese team already. So losing to Thankyou9527 again will be a 0-2 record line.
Yep.
In terms of China versus Taiwan.
Well, that is true, and now we have the two destroyer mirror match once again. We've seen this before. They go all out and they just heal up again, and damage output is very low.
Yeah, they're really dependent on those offensive interferers, especially for the summoners to deal a lot of damage. This is what they're relying on. It's not really about the destroyers putting damage onto each other.
All right, the replay's done.
Okay, there we go. Wanshini comes in for that interfere to put some damage. Look at that.
Both the destroyers are out of persistence and gust. They're just going all out right now, and look at the health bar. It's not going down.
But definitely, like you mentioned, I think is solo kill is not bound to happen between a 1v1 destroyer situation. So the reliance on your interfere from your teammates to make that damage count while you as the destroyer create that opportunity to be possible.
Exactly, and right now, Thankyou is just going all out as the destroyer, doing some damage.
Yeah, and it's going to be a reaction 2v2 with the Blade Master, and also Force Master as well, coming from both sides now. It's going to be the first tag point being used. Wu Yanbin on the summoner is now onto the field, trying to just single-handedly take down the destroyer by poking it down. The cat is also annoying the heck out of it.
Yep, and 10 seconds, but he decides to tag out rather than wait for that force tag.
Perhaps that was a good decision to go out with the lack of resources you did have available. So Sang Shang really had a hard time against Wu Yanbin last time he faced him, so he's gonna have to look for a new solution to go up against this player from Taiwan. But Sang Shang very frustrated last time when he was bothered by the cat and really couldn't finish him off, even with such a slim HP that Wu Yanbin had available. Sang Shang couldn't finish him off. He really wants to do it this time.
Yeah, but he's already getting annoyed by the cat, and that interfere coming in, reactionary 2v2. The cat is actually taking so much damage. If you see the health bar on the bottom left, the cat is almost dead on the tourist side just from that interfere.
Look at Wu Yanbin's cat, so healthy, while his Wanshini's cat is so sick and so
very sick,
hurt. And poor cat. Feels bad, man, right there.
Feels bad. And, you know, the Blade Master comes in already out of second wind. And this Force Master, as I was just saying, uses that second wind as well.
Yep.
This trading second winds is normal. But there we go with the reactionary 2v2.
Xia Wei is going to be out on the field, trying to rival the situation against Sang Shang, which he does effectively enough. And forces out the tag back over to Li Ziyang. Not going to send out Wanshini quite yet onto the field. I think they're just trying to utilize her as a more of a interfere tool, but she has more interfere points left available until that 3-minute mark comes through.
Yeah, she's actually been interfering quite often to help out and to heal up her teammates. So I guess she has been doing an okay job as a support, but now soon she's the only one with 2 tag points. Sooner or later she has to come out.
And she's the only one with really consistent damage, so if you want some burst damage that can come up for your opponents, you have to rely on Wanshini to really get that done on that summoner. So without the interfere, either you're gonna have to send her out with the tag point, but
defensive interfere coming in, gets pulled in by the Blade Master.
Xia Wei,
super close.
Whether he'll be able to
there we go.
Now Wanshini finally makes her appearance onto the field.
Yep, summoner mirror match, and we saw how this went down last time.
Poor kitty, very little HP. Now Wanshini heals her up, and good though.
All right, the Blade Master comes out again. That offensive interfere is useless because of that iron plating.
Definitely, yeah. And Xia Wei really going for it all. Blade Master going for Wanshini. Getting for the cat first.
She is actually trying to do some damage.
Those particles missing every time though. That's the problem here. Wanshini hasn't been very accurate on those particles going through. Projectiles really haven't been connecting.
There we go. As long as the cat can get that, grapple just once, it'll create her opportunity. But there we go with the knockdown.
Xia Wei still saves all of the escape and still manages to escape that situation. So Wanshini really needs to have a sure situation where damage output is a possibility, but it's just so hard once again, she does go back out without being able to do much for her team. Now Zhang Cheng is back onto the field. Does a little damage to Yahweh though.
Yep, and he decides to tag out, and now the Destroyer is the only one with the tag point on the Thankyou side.
Yeah. Sudong-Shan, he did lose out the first time he faced him. And that might have been the reason for it. He was back up to full health once again.
Yep.
Sudong-Shan, he did lose out in the singles we saw earlier in parts of the series against Zhang Shang. So, yeah, it was a little revenge, even though they're comfortably ahead. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah, well, this time around, compared to the first set 3 tag match, this is very close. You know, the first tag match was actually kind of one-sided, where Taurus could not manage any resource points, but this time around, it's pretty even. Right now, Taurus actually has the advantage of resource points.
It's true, and so much damage being dealt in terms of Li Xian coming in for the interfere along with Zhang Cheng. Doing a lot of damage on that, but Yahweh comes back onto the field. Be a little bit of the hero and do some damage. We haven't seen significant damage dealt from the side of Thankyou so far. Not enough to really threaten the other side. Second knockup. Oh, it doesn't happen.
Yep, he missed the timing, but still it's okay because Yahweh, the Taurus, they don't have any tag points, so they always have to wait out until the force tag. So there we go with the blazing wall again. He likes this. He likes this blazing wall.
Very different use of the. Now this is a very typical use of the Force Master where he goes for the wall bang.
Yep.
Yahweh heals back a little bit.
We go 1 second onto that force tag.
Absolutely no resource points in terms of Yahweh and the rest of Thankyou9527. He has the interfere points, but it doesn't matter when you're the one out on the field. So. Summoner.
She's doing work this time around.
Wan Chini finally is doing something for her team. And that's going to be first kill Wan Chini in this entire tournament.
What is going on? Now they're coming back. They are coming back. It's 5-2-1.
And like we keep mentioning, a 2 consecutive win in this series will get the tourists the win they need to get that second place spot. So it's not completely over yet, especially with this tag match being so even and a little bit ahead towards the tourist side now with 1 man down for Thankyou.
Yeah, and Ziyang, the Destroyer, has no tag points. He might just get knocked out.
Oh
no, it's evened up. Right when it was 3-1, they tie it up, making it 2v2.
Definitely, and Zhang Cheng back out onto the field. And he's done all right for the singles, but in terms of tag, not much has been done by this Force Master. He needs to do a lot more than that.
The Force Master actually is more comfortable because he has that tag point, whereas
we have been taking a lot of damage.
Does not have any tag points, so he has to endure for another 50 seconds until that force tag.
Zhang Cheng somehow feeling a lot more comfortable than he was the previous time that he did meet up with Wu Yanbin.
Look at that Super Sunflower coming at us.
Yeah. I don't want it to hit me.
Yeah, that was some 3D stuff right there.
That's what Blade&soul is all about, 3D action. And Wu Yanbin taking that 3D action to his face, taking a lot of damage from Zhang Cheng. No way for Wu Yanbin to tag out. He has to wait that 20 seconds for that force tag.
He does land that smash before that interfere ends.
Okay, so this is a very cautious situation from Wu Yanbin. He doesn't have that tab escape available. Oh, he does heal back a little bit for Zhang Cheng in that frozen state. He did a good job of really trapping that damage when he is frozen to get that heal back. So Zhang Cheng, good, effective use of that. So finally gets a free tag on. Sudong-Shan be the one of the last men standing for the side of Thankyou.
Yep, 18 seconds until they get 1 more interfere point back. Wu Yanbin will have 2 interferes, so maybe if this Destroyer on top of that Ember Stomp makes or creates an opportunity, the Summoner might come in and do some damage.
And as we keep saying that, there's only 1 minute left in the game, so this might go to the TKO, but the confusing part of this is that they do have 2 Summoners, and only the difference maker is the Force Master Zhang Cheng, who has healed up in many occasions. So will Thankyou be upping towards in terms of damage chart? We'll have to find out later, but as we say that, Wan Chini dealing much more damage onto her opponent. So finally, after day 2, finally finding her form now.
Yep, doing some work, and she is actually landing that Super Sunflower.
Oh! Sudong-Shan, will he be able to survive?
Wow, that Summoner interference.
Very close. That was crucial. But it actually might be on the other end. And will be Wan Chini going down. She survives for now. So Zhang Wensheng does have the interfere available. He wants to use it at the most crucial time to get off a kill. Maybe on Sudong Shan now. He has to stay still for the next 30 seconds until he is forced tagged out. So 10 seconds. This will be the end of it. Zhang Wensheng has to use really the interfere now to get in as much damage as he can before the game ends. Doesn't use it. So this might be the 2v2 going on. Zhang Wensheng.
Wow! Bing gets that kill at the end, and you know, like you said, they do have the summoner. This is not looking good for Tourist.
Wait, the Force Lance didn't even use the interfere.
There was probably a cooldown, yeah. There was a cooldown.
My
oh my goodness! Thank you, gets the victory.
20,000
wow.
difference.
That is very close.
Very, very close, and that's what I kept mentioning. You know, maybe it was on cooldown, like you said, with the interfere, but
there is interfere cooldown and tag cooldown.
But what I'm trying to say is, if it wasn't a cooldown and Zhang Wensheng could have had the opportunity to come in and put more damage before the timer had run out, perhaps that 20,000 difference would have been minimal. Might have gone to Tourist to give their entire side just another opportunity to get this, but.
I'm giving Tourist the benefit of the doubt, and that, you know, thinking that they knew they had the interfere point, but they just couldn't do it because of the cooldown. But either way, that was a very close game indeed, but unfortunately for Tourist, they will be eliminated from this tournament.
It is so unfortunate to see that. The fact that Wan Shini, she hasn't performed at all throughout the 2 days that we've seen her in the Worlds 2017. But finally, in Game 6 of Day 2, finally she starts turning it on, but her team's eliminated.
She was turning it on.
There's no more chances for her to show her strats.
I like how you described that she was turning it on.
It really was. I mean, because
she was doing a great job now, and it just seems like she's just gotten used to this offline tournament, you know, being held in Korea. But unfortunately for her, like you said, now her team is eliminated.
There's no more chances for her to really show what she's really made of. The only thing people remember are pretty much the disappointments that she has shown throughout the tournament. I mean, all the credits cannot be taken to her. I mean, you have to be able to perform as a team with all 3 members doing a good enough job to get you advanced to the next days ahead. But Tourists cannot get it done now. China already losing 2 teams in World 2017. The only team left available is Sky, the first C team that has been already qualified to the quarterfinals. But other than that, 2 Chinese teams have already been eliminated already in Day 2 of World 2017. So don't know what to expect with Sky, but we'll find out once we get to the Saturday quarterfinals begin. Let me go into a short break. I'm going to be back with Group B's second place match. See whether Guardian or Nunsan Fan Club will be able to pick up that notorious second place. So we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.